My dear people of the Diocese of Lubbock, in light of Governor Abbott's announcement last week reopening Texas, I feel it necessary to communicate with you what the protocols in response to the continuing COVID-19 pandemic will be effective March 13th in the parishes and entities of the Diocese of Lubbock. I issue this statement after thorough review of our policies and after much consultation throughout the diocese, and in light of the opinion of experts, especially in the medical field. It is a matter of faith, justice, and social responsibility for the Church to be preoccupied by and for the well-being of our parish members, employees of the Church, and for the common good of all people, with special attention to the needs of and dangers faced by the most vulnerable members of our society. Frankly, I and many other people find the announcement by the governor last Tuesday to be most unfortunate in light of the continued guidance offered by the National Centers for Disease Control and by the scientific and medical voices which most people have come to trust during the pandemic. The CDC still recommends that all members of the general population continue to use masks anytime one is outside of their homes and cars for the continued reduction of infections of all kinds, and especially when entering into enclosed spaces where one will encounter many members of the general population, especially for longer than 15 minutes in a 24-hour period. Therefore, I continue to ask that masks be worn properly at all times while in buildings and on the property of all parishes of the Diocese of Lubbock and its associated entities. Governor Abbott made it very clear that entities are free to make such a request of those in their facilities and on their properties. The CDC continues to recommend that safe social distancing be maintained in all public spaces. The U.S. Bishops' Conference has recommended that at least 6 feet of physical distance be maintained in churches. We will still abide by that recommendation in churches of the Diocese of Lubbock. That certainly reduces our capacity. At this time, the dispensation from attending Mass on Sundays or Saturday evenings, as well as for holy days of obligation, remains in effect. Due to the current downturn in reported cases and hospitalizations, we are widening the liturgical celebrations allowed in our churches to include funeral services including Mass, quinceañera celebrations, and other such celebrations. The churches will still have limited capacity, and so we are stipulating that only family members be included and that masks be worn for such celebrations. The pastors of the diocese continue to have the authority to approve or disapprove of functions in the church in accord with their local pandemic situation. In cases of necessary quarantine, churches may still need to be closed at times. All other protocols remain in effect. No food may be served in parishes to be eaten on location. Only faith formation programs are allowed in parish facilities, and parish halls still may not be rented out. I am communicating with the priests of the diocese regarding specifics of the Holy Week celebrations, but I want to assure you that unless there is a spike in virus cases, our churches will be open for Holy Week celebrations with the previously mentioned precautions being taken. Thank you for your patience and cooperation as we now move into a new period of further reopening. There is added hope with vaccine access expanding and encouraging news that vaccination can help us stay safe, healthy, and faster reach a point of gathering safely again. However, we still must exercise caution, perhaps being more cautious than are some civil authorities. As church, we have a moral and ethical responsibility for safety until this pandemic is definitively behind us. Remember the common good. Please continue to pray for wisdom and discernment for all of us charged with making these decisions, as there will be further changes coming as the pandemic situation changes. Please support your local clergy, priests, and deacons as they continue to take the necessary precautions to keep you safe in the weeks ahead. And please pray for me as I do for you. May you continue to experience a very blessed and holy season of Lent.